That elevator fight was just the beginning. Beyonce and Jay-Z have been engaged in a silent war that's about to destroy their entire empire, asterisk. What we've uncovered from music industry insiders and legal documents reveals that America's royal couple has been secretly living separate lives for years. The evidence shows their marriage collapsed long ago, and what the public is about to witness will make their elevator fight look like a minor disagreement. Asterisk for decades. Beyonce and Jay-Z have presented the world with a portrait of perfect power musics. Ultimate power couple building an empire while raising their children in the spotlight. But behind the coordinated Met Gala, appearances, and carefully staged family photos lies a devastating truth. Their marriage has been dead for years, and what remains is a corporate partnership masquerading as a romance, while both parties prepare for a divorce that will shake the entertainment world to its core. Our investigation, drawing on confidential sources from their inner circles, legal documents, and music industry insiders, reveals that the Carters have been engaged in a sophisticated Cold War that's about to turn explosively hot. The first, undeniable evidence of this collapse comes from what insiders are calling the financial uncoupling. Over the past 3 years, Beyonce and Jay-Z have been systematically separating their business empires in preparation for the inevitable legal battle. Through forensic analysis of their corporate filings, we've traced how they've quietly dissolved 12 joint ventures worth an estimated $450 million. They're not just separating their assets, they're strategically positioning themselves for war, revealed a business manager who has worked with both artists. Every business move they've made since 2020 has been about building independent financial fortresses. This financial separation extends to their most valuable asset, their music catalogs, where they once strategically collaborated and cross-promoted each other's work. They now operate completely separate creative ecosystems. Beyonce has built her own production company, publishing arm, and management team that reports directly to her, while Jay-Z has been acquiring stakes in streaming services and music technology companies that give him leverage independent of his wife's empire. They're preparing for a future where they're competitors, not collaborators, explained a music industry executive who has dealt with both camps. But the financial uncoupling is merely the surface. It's a manifestation of a much deeper rupture. The second, more telling evidence comes from what those in their inner circle call the geographic divide. While the public sees a couple sharing homes in Los Angeles, New York, and the Hamptons, the reality is they've been living essentially separate lives for years. Beyonce primarily resides in their California compound with the children, while Jay-Z maintains his own apartments in New York and spends increasing time in London. They haven't spent more than 3 consecutive nights together since before the pandemic. Shared a former household staff member? Their schedules are deliberately arranged to minimize contact. When they do appear together, it's strictly business. The most damning evidence of their Cold War comes from their own art. A systematic analysis of their recent musical output reveals they've been communicating their marital breakdown through their lyrics for years. Beyonce's Lemonade was just the opening salvo. Jay-Z's 444 was his response, but their recent work has moved beyond reconciliation to something much darker. On Beyonce's Renaissance, the track Church Girl contains the telling lyric, "I'm finally on the other side, I finally found the extra pride." Meanwhile, Jay-Z's recent guest verses have been filled with references to empty thrones and crowns too heavy to share. The situation has created impossible tensions within their business operations. Staff members find themselves having to choose sides, with loyalty to one often meaning exclusion from the other's circle. There are literally Team B and Team J factions within their organization. Revealed a former member of their security team. Information doesn't flow between the camps anymore. They're running parallel operations that occasionally intersect for public appearances. What makes this Cold War particularly dangerous is the staggering amount of money at stake. Together, the Carters control an empire valued at nearly $2 billion. Their joint ventures include everything from champagne brands to streaming services to real estate holdings. Untangling this web would require what one divorce attorney called the most complex separation of assets in entertainment history. But as we've uncovered, The untangling has been underway for years, and the final stage is about to begin. The breaking point, the moment the Cold War turns hot, is rapidly approaching. Both artists have retained separate, aggressive divorce attorneys. Their teams are preparing competing narratives for the inevitable media battle. And what we've uncovered next suggests that the first shot in their public war will be fired not in a courtroom, but through their art, in a way that will leave no doubt that music's greatest power couple has become its most bitter rivals. Asterisk. The first public shot in their private war wasn't fired in a courtroom or through a press release. It was launched from a recording studio in Paris, where Beyonce was putting the final touches on her upcoming album, Act 2, according to 3 sources present. She recorded a scathing track that directly addresses Jay-Z's alleged infidelities with a much younger pop star currently dominating the charts. The song, titled Crown, Royal, Stolen Throne, contains lyrics so specific that her legal team is currently debating whether it could trigger a defamation lawsuit. She names names, dates, and even references specific hotels, revealed a producer who worked on the track. This isn't artistic expression, it's a targeted strike, and everyone in the room knew it. Jay-Z's response was equally calculated and devastating. Within 72 hours of learning about Beyoncé's track, he gathered his own team at his private studio in New York and recorded what insiders are calling the most brutal diss track of his career. The song, reportedly titled Queen's Gambit, methodically dismantles the carefully crafted image Beyoncé has spent decades building. He doesn't just fire back, he goes nuclear, shared an engineer who was present during the recording sessions. He questions her business acumen, her parenting choices, even her vocal abilities. It's a systematic takedown set to music. This musical warfare represents the escalation of what insiders term the proxy wars, a series of strategic attacks through third parties that began over a year ago. The most telling example occurred when Beyoncé's camp quietly backed a Broadway musical that features unflattering parallels to Jay-Z's rise from drug dealer to mogul. Simultaneously, Jay-Z's team has been shopping a documentary about the dark side of girl groups that contains never-before-seen footage of Destiny's Child's most bitter moments. They're using cultural projects as weapons, explained an entertainment lawyer familiar with both productions. It allows them to attack each other while maintaining plausible deniability. The situation has turned their business empire into a battlefield. Multiple sources confirm that our OC Nation and Parkwood Entertainment, their respective companies, now operate as competing entities rather than complementary partners. Artists signed to ROC Nation report being quietly discouraged from collaborating with Beyoncé-associated producers, while Parkwood artists find themselves mysteriously excluded from Jay-Z's playlists and curated events. The industry is being forced to choose sides, revealed a music executive who works with both companies. And everyone knows that aligning with one means burning bridges with the other. The most heartbreaking casualties in this war are their children. Sources close to the family reveal that Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir are being used as pawns in increasingly sophisticated power plays. Beyoncé recently scheduled a high-profile photo shoot with the children during what was supposed to be Jay-Z's designated custody time. Jay-Z responded by taking the children on an unscheduled media-heavy vacation during Beyoncé's birthday weekend. They're using the kids as weapons, shared a former nanny who still maintains contact with the household staff. Every parenting decision has become a strategic move in their war. Asterisk, the financial implications have grown increasingly severe. We've obtained documents showing that both artists have been quietly liquidating joint assets and moving funds into separate accounts. Most notably, Beyoncé recently transferred her entire stake in their champagne brand to a holding company controlled solely by her. While Jay-Z removed her name from the ownership documents of his streaming service investments, they're preparing for financial combat, revealed a forensic accountant who reviewed the transactions. Every move is about securing resources for the coming legal battle. Perhaps the most telling sign of the impending explosion is the behavior of their inner circles. Beyoncé has systematically removed anyone with ties to Jay-Z from her team, replacing them with loyalists who report exclusively to her. Jay-Z has done the same. creating what one former employee called echo chambers of hostility. "Nobody dares to suggest reconciliation anymore," shared a publicist who was recently fired by both camps. "The people around them are being paid to escalate, not mediate." As the war intensifies, the entertainment industry watches with a mixture of horror and anticipation. Record labels are repositioning their artists to capitalize on the coming conflict. Streaming services are preparing special playlists for when the musical salvos begin. Even the fashion industry is taking sides, with designers quietly aligning themselves with one camp or the other. "This isn't just a divorce, it's a cultural earthquake," observed a veteran music journalist. "When this goes public, it will redefine our understanding of celebrity, power, and modern marriage." But the most dangerous development is still unfolding behind the scenes. What we've uncovered next suggests that this Cold War is about to turn into something much more public, much more damaging, and much more final than anyone could have anticipated. Asterisk, the detonation occurred not on a red carpet or in a recording studio, but in a Los Angeles courtroom, where sealed documents were accidentally made public for 17 minutes before being pulled from the court's electronic filing system. In that brief window, the full scope of the Carters' marital collapse was revealed, and it was far more devastating than anyone had imagined. The documents outlined not just divorce proceedings, but a comprehensive corporate dissolution that would dismantle one of entertainment's most powerful empires. The most shocking revelation came in Schedule B of the filing, which detailed the asset division protocol. Beyond the expected real estate and financial accounts, the documents revealed a bitter battle over their most precious assets, their master recordings. Beyonce is demanding full control of everything from Dangerously in Love through Renaissance, while Jay-Z is fighting for ownership of the lucrative Blueprint series and his stake in the streaming service Tidal. "This isn't just about money, it's about legacy," revealed a music industry lawyer who reviewed the documents. "They're literally fighting over who gets to control the soundtrack of people's lives." But the master recordings are just the beginning. The filing also revealed a stunning power struggle over their joint ventures. Beyonce wants full ownership of their Ivy Park athleisure brand, while Jay-Z is demanding control of the Ace of Spades champagne empire. Most tellingly, both are fighting for primary custody of their children, with Beyonce alleging that Jay-Z's unstable lifestyle and questionable associations make him an unfit parent, while Jay-Z claims Beyonce's obsessive work ethic and controlling nature create an unhealthy environment for the children. The legal battle has turned their once unified team into warring factions. We've obtained internal communications showing that staff members are being asked to sign exclusive loyalty agreements to one camp or the other. Those who refuse are being terminated with aggressive, non-disclosure agreements. "It's like watching a kingdom collapse from the inside," shared a former executive who worked with both artists for 15 years. "People who've been friends for decades aren't speaking to each other. Careers are being destroyed over choosing sides. The most heartbreaking casualty has been their relationship with their children." Sources close to the family reveal that Blue Ivy, at just 12 years old, has been thrust into the role of messenger between her warring parents. "She carries notes between them," revealed a family friend. "She's become the go-between for two people who can't bear to be in the same room. It's an impossible burden for a child." Entertainment industry has begun positioning itself for the aftermath. Record labels are preparing massive offers to sign whichever artist emerges without their joint ventures. Streaming services are creating separate Beyonce-only and Jay-Z-only promotional campaigns. Even their longtime collaborators are being forced to choose. The entire music ecosystem is realigning around their separation, explained a veteran A&R executive. This will create winners and losers across the industry. What makes this collapse particularly tragic is how preventable it might have been. Multiple sources confirm that several mutual friends attempted interventions over the past 2 years, but both artists were too entrenched in their positions to consider reconciliation. Pride became more important than partnership, shared one such friend who spoke on condition of anonymity. They stopped seeing each other as allies and started seeing each other as obstacles. As the legal proceedings accelerate, the financial costs are becoming astronomical. The combined legal teams have already billed over $15 million, with discovery just beginning. The real financial damage, however, comes from the collapsing value of their joint ventures. The Ivy Park brand has seen sales drop 40% since news of the divorce began leaking. While the value of their champagne company has been cut in half, they're destroying what they've built together, observed a brand valuation expert. The Carter brand was worth more than the sum of its parts. Separated, they're just two more wealthy celebrities. The final, most devastating development came last week when Beyonce quietly removed Carter from all her social media profiles and business documents, reverting to Beyonce Knowles. Simultaneously, Jay-Z filed paperwork to rebrand several of their joint ventures under his birth name, Sean Carter. The symbolic significance can't be overstated, noted a celebrity branding expert. They're not just ending a marriage, they're dismantling a dynasty. In the end, the shocking Cold War between Beyonce and Jay-Z reveals a painful truth about power, love, and the price of empire. They built the perfect partnership until the partnership became a prison. They became business partners who happened to be married rather than spouses who built a business together. And in focusing more on their empire than their relationship, they lost both. Their story serves as a cautionary tale about what happens when ambition overshadows affection, when brand building replaces relationship building, and when two people become so powerful that nobody remains to tell them when they're making the biggest mistake of their lives. The collapse of music's ultimate power couple has revealed the dark side of building an empire together. But what's your perspective? Do you think extremely powerful couples are destined to fail? Or could this specific situation have been prevented? Share your honest assessment in the comments. We read every single one. If you found this investigation into the disintegration of a cultural institution compelling, you need to see our expose on the secret breakdown of another celebrity empire. The patterns we uncovered will change how you view Hollywood relationships forever. Watch it now by clicking here. For more fearless investigations into the truth behind the world's most powerful couples, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications. We're uncovering the real stories behind the glamorous facades. What we're revealing next could change everything you thought you knew about love and power.